Hey guys, in this video I'm bringing you the alleged leaked outline for the second episode of the final season of Game of Thrones. As I did for the season 8 premiere, I will share the alleged leaked outline and try to break it down event by event, of which most are seemingly supportive with many leaks. The alleged outline episode 2 claims that it starts with Jaime Lannister. Jaime arrives at the Twins with a small Lannister army. He rallied most of the Riverlands, House Tully, Blackwood, Mallister and Bracken. Jaime is here to rally the Frey soldiers too. Jaime asks Frey girls what happened there. Sarah Frey responds with Winter came for House Frey. I gotta stop right there to point out that actress Danielle Galligan has been cast as a character named Sarah. In George R. R. Martin's source material, Sarah is a granddaughter of Walder Frey. A ginger-haired Sarah Frey has already debuted very briefly in Game of Thrones back in the show's third season, and before the Red Wedding, Walder Frey told Robb Stark that he could have had an option of marrying Sarah, her twin sister Sarah, or both for all I care. Whether this outline turns out to be real or fake, Frey girl named Sarah will definitely make an appearance in the final season of Game of Thrones. The outline then visits King's Landing. Cersei grows more mad and paranoid after the miscarriage, more ruthless. Qyburn enters her chambers, but Cersei doesn't want to speak. Qyburn speaks about Maggie the Frog's prophecy. Cersei smiles, can't stop laughing. Cersei says something along the lines, such a pity Lord Randall of Hornhill hunted her down. I never got a chance to tell her how wrong she was. 3 children shall I bear, based on your prophecy. Gold shall be their crowns and gold their shrouds. She was right, but not really. I had 4 children, 3 with Jaime, 1 with Robert. Qyburn responds with, the one that died as soon as he was born, your grace. Cersei repeats after in the one that died and smiles. This part is very interesting to me. Is she talking about Gendry? Perhaps. Maggie's fate might also come as a surprise to you, killed by Randyll Tarly some years ago. This Maggie's end has actually already been confirmed by Sam in the Prophecies of the Known World, which is part of histories and lore, a special feature from Game of Thrones the complete 7th season. It's narrated by John Bradley and Samuel Tarly. Sam enumerates on the Rose prophecies, plain Westeros and Essos alike. When I was a boy, I overheard the cook whispering to a maid about a woods witch camping outside Hornhill who was called Maggie the Frog. Now I realize it was probably a corruption of the Eastern word for wizards, Maggie. One day my father rode out hunting, though no game was in season, and whatever power she had likely did not save her, Sam says. Anyways, let's continue with the outline. It says that half of the Unsullied arrive at the Dreadfort. Melisandre arrives at Winterfell in the form of an old woman. Dany is pregnant. She orders Missandei and Maester Wolkan to stay quiet about it. Honestly, there's been many scenes throughout the previous season foreshadowing Dany's pregnancy with Jon Snow, that this is not even coming as a surprise, and once again it's something that will almost certainly come true, no matter of the legitimacy of this outline. An outline says Cersei gets a letter. This could be a letter Tyrion wrote and said in secret in the season 8 premiere. Euron Greyjoy on the silence, Harry Strickland and an experienced sailor beside him. He has a horn. Euron has blue lips as blue as the White Walker's eyes. Mark Rissman as God & Company Commander Harry Strickland and an unknown actor that was casted for a sailor, but a casting call requesting a sailor aged 35 to 50, a rough and ready seafaring type with a feathered face and strong presence. Once again, real or fake, both of these new characters have been confirmed to appear at some point of the final season. Bran's got a series of visions from the past, present and future. The Night King flies Viserion present. Cersei gives birth to a black-haired son and has it replaced. A man wears a hood, past. Rhaegar and Robert fight, past. Winterfell burns, future. Out of these 4 different visions from different outlines, things that happened are happening and that will happen, 2 have been confirmed to actually play out in the final season. Winterfell will burn as confirmed by leaked photos, and Rhaegar flashback will also likely happen. Not only did George R. R. Martin state that there will not be need for Robert's Rebellion prequel show, revealing that everything we need to know and see from that time period will be shown in Game of Thrones, basically confirming that a legendary fight between Rhaegar and Robert will likely be included in the last 6 episodes, but an actor who plays Rhaegar has been shooting scenes for season 8. The outline then states that we have a huge meeting in the main hall of Winterfell. Army of the Dead is not marching to the Dreadfort as we expected, they're marching on us. All 100,000 of them except for the Night King who is flying Viserion south, says Bran. Tyrion doubts in Bran's abilities. Where exactly did you see them, asks Dany. Above Harrenhal, responds Bran. Then that's where I'll go, Dany says. Tyrion interrupts this conversation and says, if you take half of our armies to hunt down the Night King, Winterfell is doomed. Jon Snow and the Northern Lords agree. The Unsullied or the tracking against Viserion are as useful as whites against Drogon and Rhaegal. You need every single man to stand a chance against the Army of the Dead. They stay here. I'll fly Drogon and Rhaegal south, and I will kill this Night King and Viserion, states Dany. Jon asks Tyrion if he certain Cersei's armies are marching to their aid. Sansa expresses her doubt about Cersei's intentions. Tyrion assures everyone that his sister will help. Bran interrupts and claims to have seen Cersei's army sailing north to aid them in the war to come. A northern sentry interrupts the meeting. He tells Jon that the Lannister army led by Sir Jaime Lannister is marching on foot, and has just passed Castle Servain and should be at their gates by the nightfall. Many start doubting Bran and his visions. Jon says we need to prepare our defenses. The Army of the Dead is only days away. Bran interrupts Jon and says we must retreat south. Winterfell will fall, I saw it burning. There's many things happening. I'll try to break it all down. So Bran shares vision with all the lords, some believe, some doubt him. Dany believes it and she is apparently going to chase the Night King. Bran says he saw Cersei's army sailing north, and the Northern Sentry says that the Lannister army is marching on foot, and will arrive by the nightfall, having already passed Castle Servyn. Basically what's happening is that Bran saw the Lannister army sailing north with Euron and the Golden Company and is likely not coming to its aid, although Bran says it does. While the Lannister army that is marching on foot and that is actually coming to its aid is the one led by Jaime, a small army he rallied in the Riverlands. Once again, real or fake, some parts of this outline are confirmed to happen in the final season, and such is the appearance of the Northern Sentry. Frank Blake was casted and filmed the scene as, you guessed it, the Northern Sentry. After having said that the Lannister army is sailing north, some start to doubt Bran's abilities and visions, especially after receiving news of the Lannister army marching on foot, unaware that it's two different armies led by different commanders, one coming to aid them and the other to fight them. The meeting ends with Bran sharing his vision of future, Winterfell burning and warning them they must retreat south while there's still time. Of course, Jon and others will not listen. The battle for Winterfell is happening and is the largest battle sequence ever filmed. Even if Jon and others probably believe in Bran's visions, they still have to try and defend the North, and they will, although not successfully. Bran can see the future, but he cannot change it. It's got to happen, otherwise it would not be the future, and Bran would see it. Some of you probably wonder if Bran can see things which he can, how come he did not see Jaime leading armies as well? Or how come he doesn't see Cersei's armies led by Euron and Harry as a threat, and not as the promised state by Queen Cersei? How come he doesn't know Cersei's true intentions? This got many fans confused. With Bran being the three-eyed raven, people think he knows everything that's happened or is happening, which simply is not true. To explain it better, let's take a look on how the actor who plays Bran Stark explained how exactly his powers work on Game of Thrones. The way Bran's power works at the moment is that he's basically got a Kindle library of the whole history of the universe, he says. He just hasn't read every book yet. And the old three-eyed raven has sat in that tree for 1,000 years and read through every piece of history and has accessed it all. He continues with, but for now he needs people to tell him what they want him to see. That's exactly how Bran saw Jon's parents being married in a secret ceremony. Someone told him to check out if this happened, he accessed it and he confirmed it. He doesn't know everything, but he can go and check it out, and I'm glad the show will explain it next season, because it got many people confused. Basically what happens in this case is that Bran saw Euron sailing with Cersei's armies north, and by hearing that Cersei promised to send help, he assumes that they're coming to the North's aid. However, no one told Bran to go back and check out Cersei's plans that she discussed with Euron and the leader of the Golden Company, and to check if they're really coming to the North's aid. Perhaps episode 3 will not see the living fighting the dead only. Perhaps the living will fight amongst themselves. After all, Euron promised Cersei to destroy the pretenders in the north. The outline continues with seemingly destroyed Dorne's story coming back into play. Dorne is led by a new character who is not a Martell. 15,000 Dornishmen arrive. This new character that will lead Dorne has also been confirmed to appear in the final season. Since he is said not to be a Martell, I have no idea who this character might be. However, I may know who this mysterious character might be played by. Toby Osmond is casted for a royal role, and I think he might be playing this new Dornish leader, who will seemingly rally Dorne and get 15,000 Dornishmen to the capital before the end of episode 2. Having in mind that Dornishmen don't especially like Lannisters, they're probably storming King's Landing, although there's still a small possibility that they came to swear fealty to Queen Cersei of House Lannister. Back to the outline, at Winterfell, Howland Reed arrives with 3,000 Crannogmen. Winterfell is under preparations. Everyone wields dragon-glass weapons. Beric teaches a small group how to ignite their swords. Yet again, legit or not, it's already been confirmed that multiple people will wield flaming swords in the battle against the dead by many leaked photos. Here we can see at least 3 people with flaming swords, all 3 on horseback. The last scene on the episode is in the crypts of Winterfell. Jon Snow and Dany are in the crypts. They discuss Ned's death. They are later joined by Howland Reed. Dany leaves the two to speak alone. Howland talks about Lyanna Stark. He says something along the line Lyanna Stark, the Wolf Girl. First met her at the Great Tourney at Harrenhal. It's a beautiful story, that one. 3 squires, all larger than me, a small Crannogman started to beat me until Lyanna came to my defense. She attacked them with a tourney's sword, can you believe it? The bullies scattered and Lyanna took me back to her tent. There I met up with Tethered and Benjen and Brandon. Lyanna protected me and they returned the favor. Now that you're a grown man with no threat other than the dead, I think Lyanna would want you to know this. Lyanna is not your... Before Howland could reveal Jon the truth behind his parentage, the horn is being blown. Episode 2 ends. That's an interesting end of this alleged leaked outline of the second episode of the final season. This entire scene in the crypts might have been confirmed by the leaks. It was leaked that episode 2 will see the return of the crypts, which was being filmed on its long-standing location at Shane's castle. It was also reported that 2 main characters will discuss Ned Stark's death in this scene. Even the scene ending with the horn being blown has been confirmed. So once again, real or fake, something like this will definitely take place in episode 2. The main question I have is how many times is horn being blown? Who is arriving? Did the Army of the Dead finally reach Winterfell? Is it Jaime? Or is it Euron and the Golden Company? So many questions. All in all, leaked outline for episode 2 does seem interesting, and if true, this episode will be full of events and quite a long one. Let me know what you think about this alleged outline in the comment section down below. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.